Well, folks, as you know, our media, they've been very strongly in favor of light policing when it comes to crime. But CNN found out the hard way what happens when you go to a high crime city to investigate the problem of street crime. The answer is you actually get robbed. So this is just an amazing story. A CNN crew over the weekend was robbed while covering street crime in San Francisco. Which, oh, the irony. Oh, the irony. So CNN crew was trying to cover the issue of street crime, and a reporter named Kyung La tweeted out, got robbed. Again, Jason Keeler and I believe it's Jason Keeler. Jason Kraverick, a CNN producer, and I were at City Hall in San Francisco to do an interview for CNN. We had security to watch our rental car plus crew car. Thieves did this in under 4 seconds. Security stopped the jerks from stealing other bags, but seriously, this is ridiculous. Apparently, the security tried to grab the crooks, but ended up with an image of the license plate to the vehicle they drove off in. And she wrote, San Francisco is a beautiful city. This is our 3rd day here. I've loved my time here. If you do visit the city, know that even with hired security watching your car, it is not enough. So just amazing stuff. Well done, San Francisco. As always, you've done a tremendous. But I assume that if Donald Trump had done anything in the city of San Francisco, the DAs would be looking into prosecuting him. This is where you start to lose the American people, folks, is when your law enforcement resources are not dedicated to making the lives of people in your cities better. They're dedicated to getting the political opponents of people who will make the DA more famous. At that point, a lot of people start to tune out. That's precisely what you're watching happening with Donald Trump. Street crime is worse than it's been in a long time in places like New York and San Francisco. And yet it seems like the resources are being devoted not to those issues, but to ancillary issues that light up Twitter, but don't make anybody's life actually better. Okay, time for some things that I hate. Okay, so over the weekend, the San Jose Sharks, who are the worst team in the Western Conference in the NHL, apparently they are bad at both hockey and also biology. And they decided that they were going to tweet out the San Jose Sharks. First of all, they changed their logo to the trans flag, essentially. It's a blue, pink, and white shark. And the hockey sticks that are crossed below the shark logo now have the Pride Progress flag on them. And they decided they were just going to tweet out a bunch of intersectional garbage about gender. Quote, worldwide, says the San Jose Sharks. And I need another update from Gushers on Black Lives Matter. That was my favorite. Is during Black Lives Matter when every corporation felt the necessity to speak up about systemic racism in the United States. And Gushers, you know, like the candy that you give to your kids in their lunch bag. Gushers was like, we also will speak up about Black Lives. It's like, you are a candy. You need to stop that. Anyway, the San Jose Sharks, they tweeted out, worldwide, gender diversity is seen far differently than it is in the Western world, or as you may know it. Most of us are familiar with the male, female, and transgender labels, but in other cultures, the existence of the third gender, or even fourth and fifth genders, is common. It's not. I mean, let me just put it this way. It's really, really uncommon across the world. In fact, you have to find like very, very random cultures in extremely small places that humor anything remotely like what they are talking about. And also, very often when they're talking about a third gender, they're talking about intersex people, which is not the same thing as saying that a man can be a woman or a woman can be a man. So the San Jose Shark says, the Mux gender is a respected third gender in Zapotec cultures in Oaxaca, Mexico, that has existed for centuries. Wow, I mean, that's a culture we've all heard of and has had massive cultural influence across the world. Yeah, probably they got it right. Gunaa are those who were born as men but who identify as women and are attracted to men. The Ngui are those who were born as men and are attracted to other men. This is the San Jose Sharks, a hockey team. Source, book Living in Modern America by Sarah Salam and Inter-American Development Bank. I have a question. What does this have to do with anything? Like, when did the woke employee get a hold of the Twitter account? And then they started tweeting out pictures of men dressed as women in Mexico, for example. Wow. Well, you've convinced all of us that men and women don't exist and that dude with the hairy arms is really a woman. You've convinced us. Again, the claim of the trans movement is not that there is a third gender. You'll recognize. The claim of the trans movement is that a man is a woman and a woman is a man. Remember, trans women are women, trans men are men. So they're actually making a distinct claim, believe it or not. They're saying there's a third gender of people, but trans doesn't say there's a third gender of people. The trans activists say that you can be any gender you want. There are thousands of genders, not a third gender. But even beyond that, they're arguing that if you identify as a member of the opposite sex, you are in fact a member of the opposite sex. They tweeted out I'm gonna need to call a friend. This is a very long word that I am totally gonna botch, so I'm gonna need to phone a friend here. How is this pronounced? Nina Paskip.
Nina Busket Zip Hep
Yeah, no, I need that again.
Nina Busket Zip
Nina Pusket Zip.
Nina Busket Zip.
Okay, Nina Pusket Zip. Okay, good enough. That's as good as it's going to get. Yeah. So they tweet out, the Nina Upusket Zip were honored as a third gender in the North Pagan tribe of the Blackfoot Confederacy in northern Montana and southern Alberta, Canada. Well then, I mean, if the Nina Upakapsak were honored that way, then obviously that means that mainstream Western culture is just wrong. And so is, by the way, virtually all cultures all over Earth for all of time. And so is all of mammalian biology, that there are only two sexes and that sex is dichotomous. Thank you, San Jose Sharks. Thank you. Well, if you think CNN needs a wake-up call, that's because we can all use that wake-up call. You know where I get my wake-up call? Black Rifle Coffee. Because the fact of the matter is, my kids get me up early in the morning. I need to get ready for the show. There's only one thing that gets the motor running, and that, of course, is Black Rifle Coffee. Black Rifle Coffee is fueling Americans before they go out and do epic things with their lives. Their ready-to-drink cans are crafted for convenience without losing quality. If you want a Spartan-level caffeine kick, try Ready to Drink 300, made with 300 milligrams of caffeine per can, and an electrifying blend of MCT oil and amino acids that will supercharge your day. Ready to Drink 300 packs a serious caffeine punch backed by high-quality ingredients. It comes in a bunch of delicious flavors: caramel vanilla, rich mocha, and more. Each unique flavor combined with a large dose of Wake the Hell Up. Ready to Drink cans are crafted with just the right amount of sweetness to perfectly balance the bolder, coffee-forward flavors. They do it with less sugar than other grab-and-go coffee options. Whether you need a boost before you hit the gym or a caffeine jolt to carry you through your shift, just grab a can and go. Go to blackriflecoffee.com, use promo code Shapiro, check out for 10% off your order. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Use promo code Shapiro, get 10% off. You can also find Black Rifle Coffee in grocery and convenience stores near you. That's Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee. Let's talk about the fact it's difficult to maintain a healthy lifestyle. You know, you're a busy person. I'm a busy person. I got to tell you, that combined with the fact that I hate vegetables with the fiery passion of 1,000 suns means I don't often get the nutrients that I need, which is why I rely on Balance of Nature. Balance of Nature fruits and veggies are the best way to make sure you are getting essential nutritional ingredients every single day. Their capsules are packed with 100% whole food that you can take at any time. Balance of Nature uses a cold vacuum process that preserves those natural phytonutrients in 16 whole fruits and 15 whole vegetables and encapsulates them for easy consumption. Balance of Nature sent a bunch of their product down to the studio for my team to try. We love them. I was really excited to find out that the product is certified kosher, which means I can use it, and it makes me healthier. Go to balanceofnature.com right now. Use promo code Shapiro for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. That's balanceofnature.com. Promo code Shapiro for 35% off your first preferred order. Keep yourself healthier because that body that you have, that's the only one that you're going to get. So head on over to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Shapiro, 35% off your first order, and get healthier today with balanceofnature.com. Promo code Shapiro for 35% off. Now, I just have to wonder, who is running the show at some of these places? Because let's face it, I mean, if you actually look at the demographic breakdown per league, I've talked about this before, sports leagues have different fan bases. The NBA's fan base is disproportionately black and left-wing in terms of its politics and its demographic breakdown. The NHL fan base is disproportionately white and right-wing. The NASCAR fan base is disproportionately white and right-wing. The NFL is pretty evenly spread, right? Like, this is not a statement about good, bad, or indifferent. That's the way it is. Who is the NHL trying to appeal to here? Who is in the NHL audience who's like, man, I need to know what the San Jose Sharks think about the Nina Upeksopa. I need it right now. I need to know. There's a bubble. The people who run these teams are in that bubble because in corporate America, everybody exists in a bubble that is far away from the regular Americans and far away from their own audience. They don't even know what they're talking about. Okay, one other thing that I hate today. So this is just a spectacular clip. So Robin DiAngelo, who is one of the great grifters of all time, she's the author of what is, I think, factually speaking, the worst book ever written, White Fragility. It is an awful, awful piece of garbage. If you want to see my full take on white fragility, I did a YouTube video probably a year ago in which I went through white fragility in detail. It's like a 35-minute breakdown, breaking down what is truly one of the most awful books ever put into the English language. And she was doing another one of these Maoist struggle sessions talking about how white people are terrible and also they carry the burden of having to fix all of Earth. So shockingly, white people are both terrible and also should have all the power, which is a very weird thing. And she drops this one. She basically says that black people should hang out with black people. So here's what she has to say.
And then I'm a big believer in affinity space and affinity work. And I think people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other. And I'll let that go and maybe see if anyone else wants to pick it up.
So she wants there to be a separate black space from the white space. Fascinating. I just want to play that one more time because then I want to contrast that with another thing that was said by a famous person recently that got that person's career ended. So here she is again.
And then I'm a big believer in affinity space, in affinity work. And I think people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other. And I'll let that go and maybe see if anyone else wants to pick it up.
I think people of color need to get away from white people and have a space just for themselves, right? Now, imagine that she had said, I think white people need to get away from people of color and have a space just for themselves. Well, we don't have to imagine. Scott Adams said exactly that, and it ended his career. Here was his direct quote, right? But here's the quote with the races reversed, the way that Robin DiAngelo would. You tell me if you can spot a distinction between Scott Adams, if he'd been talking about black people getting away from white people, and what Robin DiAngelo just said, quote, if nearly half of whites are not okay with black people, according to this poll, not according to me, according to this poll, that's a hate group. I don't want to have anything to do with them. I would say based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to black people is to get the hell away from white people. Just get the F away because there's no fixing this. That's if Scott Adams had been talking about black people getting away from white people. And it is indistinguishable from what Robin DiAngelo is saying, except she says the word affinity groups a lot, the term affinity groups. Again, racism is just fine depending on who it is directed against. That is the rule of the day when it comes to the left. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show continues right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be getting into the latest with regard to Russia, Ukraine, China, and we'll be getting into the mailbag. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click the link in the description and join us.